What started as an FFA SAE turned into a business she still runs to this day. I'm Alex Makovica reporting on the Rural Radio Network. Blue Hill FFA member Libby Macklin joined FFA in the 7th grade and eventually launched Libby's Beekeeping as her SAE. Today, as a college student at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, she continues to grow that beekeeping business.
One element of FFA that I really enjoyed was the SAE, so Supervised Agricultural Experience. I think that's a really awesome way to get youth involved in agriculture in a deeper level. And so when I was brainstorming ideas for my SAE, I kind of decided I wanted to do something unique that hadn't been done before a lot in my area. And so I landed on beekeeping, which was kind of a surprise to a lot of people around me. But if I've learned one thing through my beekeeping endeavors, it's that bee people are nice people. And so I kind of got started into beekeeping through my FFA SAE, and I've applied for the Nebraska FFA Foundation SAE grant, which was really helpful with some costs of the extracting equipment that I now have. So FFA has just been a really big part of my life and a really big part of my beekeeping experiences just because of that grant money, and then also just the community and support system that comes with having an SAE.
I think it's fair to say that a lot of FFA members choose their FFA Supervised Agricultural Experience in an agriculture area that they're at least vaguely familiar with. But for Libby and a lot of other students, that was not the case. Libby talks about why she took that big leap of faith, especially as a high school student.
It started out with a lot of Googling ideas, and I grew up in agriculture, not quite on the farm, just kind of on an acreage, but have been involved in a lot of different sectors of agriculture. But I ultimately decided I wanted to do kind of more of a niche area of agriculture, and beekeeping was one that kind of came up, and I was like, oh, wow, that'd be cool, but, how would I actually do that? And as I researched more into it, I found the Nebraska Beekeepers Association, and they have a youth scholar program. So I applied for that. I believe that was a December to January application. And through that, I received a lot of different things: the actual package of bees, boxes and frames, equipment, bee suits, things like that. But what really made me feel at ease doing something completely new and foreign to me was that they paid for me to take a day class at UNL through the bee lab, one day of classroom instruction, and then one day actually out in their apiary with the bees, working with these industry professionals. And then they also match you with a mentor from the Nebraska Beekeepers Association near you that could easily come to your hives and help you. And I'm still in contact with my mentor now. He's become a great family friend, someone that came to my grad party and just a really close friend. So yes, it was really foreign and new to me, but what made it easy was, I'd say, the education that the Beekeepers Association provided me. They weren't just, throwing me all these materials and this package of bees. They were helping me through every step of the way. I love beekeeping, and I'm really glad I tried it. So honestly, I'd say just go for it.
And since her beekeeping business followed her to college, Libby says she doesn't live the typical college life.
I'd say my college years might look a little different than most, continuing to do this business. I was back for a weekend in September harvesting honey. I harvested 9 gallons of honey in 2 days. So it was a lot, but with the help of my family, it's been really manageable. And continuing this into college, I think, is a really good thing for me, just because I have that support system, and it's something I enjoy.
And when asked what's the most common question you get or biggest misconception you have to address about the beekeeping industry in general, Libby says,
one thing that I really love about beekeeping is that you are always growing. I've been doing this for 3 years now, and I think I learn something new every time I'm out in the hive. And that's just one element of beekeeping that was really compelling to me at the start, is that I can learn from my bees in so many different ways. And one thing that was surprising for me at the start was just realizing the complexity of honeybees and the way that they operate. I remember in one of my classes through the UNLB lab is that they're a superorganism. And so, there's a lot of different kinds of bees and in different times of their lifespan, they do different things, and the way they all work together to create this, hexagon-shaped honeycomb, and they fill it with nectar, and they make sure it's the right moisture content and capping the honey, then there's just so much complexity that goes into it. Honestly, I don't think I ever really thought about, a jar of honey, how that came to be before I became a beekeeper. It was always just bees make honey, but really there's so much more that goes into that. That's honestly really amazing.
That's former Blue Hill FFA member Libby Macklin on her Supervised Agricultural Experience turned business, Libby's Beekeeping. She now has involvement with the Angler Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program, the UNL Bee Lab, and most recently, she was named a member of the Nebraska Agricultural Youth Council. I'm Alex Mackovica from inside the Nebraska Soybean Board Studios, brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers and their checkoff. You're listening to the Rural Radio Network.